Martell Holt has spent years presenting himself as a builder, a businessman, and a man whose career is deeply connected to construction and development. This image has been central to how viewers understand his role on Love and Marriage Huntsville, as well as how they judge his personal choices, his conflicts, and his future plans. The idea that Martell is a licensed home builder has been repeated so many times that many people stopped questioning it. Over time, repetition turned into belief, but belief and documentation are not the same thing. The discussion around Martell's professional standing became louder toward the end of 2025, when claims began circulating that he officially held an active Alabama home builder license. Bloggers repeated the claim, supporters defended it, some viewers accepted it without question, others wanted proof. The problem was not that people talked about it. The problem was that few people actually checked the records that exist for this exact purpose. In Alabama, home building is not based on personal claims or reputation. It is regulated by law. The Alabama Home Builders Licensure Board exists to protect consumers and to make sure that anyone doing residential construction meets the required standards. This board maintains a public database that anyone can access. The database allows searches by name, business, city, or county. It is not hidden. It is not private. It is designed to give clear answers. When Martell Holt's name was searched using Huntsville and Madison County, a listing appeared under a company name connected to him. At first glance, some people stopped there. They saw a license number and assumed the matter was settled. But licenses are not just about numbers. The most important detail is the status. Under the license status, the words Ratify Renewal appeared. This is where confusion began. Many people assumed that any listing meant the license was active. That assumption is incorrect. Licenses can exist in many states, including active, expired, suspended, pending, or under review. Each status has a specific legal meaning. To ratify means to approve something that is not yet final. A renewal means the continuation of a license for another term. When the two are combined, ratify renewal means the renewal process has started but has not been fully approved or activated. In simple terms, it means the license is not confirmed as active yet. It is waiting for final approval. This difference is not minor. It is not about word choice. It is about legal authority. An active license means a builder is fully allowed to perform residential construction work. A ratified renewal means that permission is not yet confirmed. To understand this clearly, another builder was searched in the same database. Marcel Scott's listing showed the status as active. There was no extra wording, no pending language, no conditions. Active means active. The difference between the two listings was clear.
This side-by-side comparison matters because it shows how the board communicates status. The system is not vague. It does not mix meanings. When a license is active, it says active. When it is not, the wording reflects that. Residential construction involves serious responsibility. It includes permits, inspections, insurance, and consumer protection. Homeowners depend on licensed builders to protect their money and safety. That is why states regulate this industry so strictly. Performing home building work without an active license can lead to legal trouble and financial harm. The controversy did not exist because people searched the database. It existed because the public story did not match what the database showed at the time. When someone publicly presents themselves as licensed, that claim must match the official record. If it does not, questions naturally follow. Some people asked why bloggers said the license was active. Others wondered if there was confusion between applying for renewal and receiving approval. Some questioned whether the word licensed was being used loosely for appearance rather than accuracy. These questions are reasonable. They are not attacks. They are the result of mixed information. As the licensing discussion continued, older allegations resurfaced. These claims, which have never been proven, involve past construction or renovation work that allegedly had poor results. These stories have circulated in online spaces for years. They are not presented as facts. They are mentioned only because licensing questions bring more attention to past claims. When professional credibility is questioned, people look at the full picture. That includes work history, documentation, and public representation. Martell's reduced screen time on Love and Marriage Huntsville has also increased curiosity about his income and future plans. Reality television exposure does not last forever. Stability matters, especially when children are involved. Viewers have asked what sustainability looks like for Martell moving forward. Some have suggested that he pursue other careers, including commercial driving. These suggestions are often misunderstood. Commercial driving is not an insult. It is a skilled, regulated profession with steady demand. The comments reflect concern about adaptability, not disrespect. The larger issue is credibility. Love and Marriage Huntsville was built on ideas of business ownership, growth, and professional success. When a cast member's claims appear unclear or inconsistent, it affects how viewers see the show's original message. This situation also highlights how quickly misinformation spreads. One statement can become accepted truth when repeated often enough. Public records exist to prevent that, but only if people take the time to read them carefully. To be clear, an active license means full authorization. A ratified renewal means the renewal is waiting for approval. These two statuses are not the same. At the time the records were reviewed, the listing connected to Martell Holt did not show the same status as confirmed active builders. That is the core issue. Everything else is commentary. This discussion is not about humiliation. It is about transparency. Public figures invite public attention, especially when their brand is built on professional expertise. Viewers deserve clarity. Consumers deserve protection. Claims deserve verification. Public records do not rely on opinions. They do not respond to rumors. They simply show the facts as they exist at the time. The question now is whether the license status will change and whether future claims will match the record. Until then, this breakdown remains based on publicly available information. Viewers are encouraged to research independently, read official records carefully, and engage in informed discussion rather than assumption. Public records will always speak louder than repeated claims. As the discussion continued online, many viewers began to realize how important it is to separate public image from verified status. In reality television, storylines often blur the line between branding and reality. A cast member can repeat a claim long enough that it feels true, even when paperwork tells a different story. This is why public records matter. They exist to remove emotion and replace it with facts. For Martell Holt, the builder identity has always been more than just a job title. It has been part of how he explained his lifestyle, his income, and his position on the show. When that identity comes into question, it naturally raises broader concerns. People began to ask how much of what they were shown was solid and how much was assumed. The licensing issue also raises an important point about responsibility. When someone presents themselves as a professional in a regulated field, the responsibility to be accurate is higher. Construction is not entertainment. It affects real homes and real families. Even small misunderstandings about license status can have serious consequences. Some supporters argue that a ratified renewal still shows effort and intent. That may be true. Applying for renewal does show that steps were taken. However, intent is not the same as approval. Until the status changes to active, the authorization is not complete. That distinction matters legally and ethically. Others argue that the criticism is unfair and overly focused on paperwork. But in regulated industries, paperwork is not a technicality. It is the foundation. Without it, there is no legal protection for consumers. That is why states make licensing databases public and easy to search. Another factor adding to public curiosity is Martell's changing presence on Love and Marriage Huntsville. With reduced appearances, viewers naturally speculate about what is happening off camera. Reality television creates familiarity, and when that familiarity disappears, questions follow. People want to know how cast members are supporting themselves beyond the show. This is where the idea of adaptability becomes central. Careers change, businesses face delays, licenses expire and require renewal. None of that is unusual. What matters is how those changes are communicated. Transparency builds trust. Vague statements weaken it. The repeated suggestion that Martell should explore other career paths is often misunderstood. It is not an insult. It reflects concern about long-term stability. Many successful people change careers multiple times. What defines success is not staying in one lane forever, but adjusting when circumstances change. The frustration some viewers express comes from feeling misled. When people believe one thing and later learn that the official record says something else, trust erodes. That erosion does not happen overnight. It builds slowly through unanswered questions and unclear explanations. This situation also serves as a reminder for viewers to verify information themselves. Public databases exist for a reason. They allow anyone to check claims without relying on bloggers, social media posts, or word of mouth. In the age of fast information, slowing down to verify facts is more important than ever. For public figures, this moment presents a choice: address the issue clearly and directly, or allow speculation to continue. Silence does not stop discussion. It often makes it louder. Clear communication, even when the truth is uncomfortable, tends to calm controversy rather than fuel it. It is also important to note that licensing status can change. A pending renewal can become active once approved. If that happens, the record will reflect it. When it does, the narrative should adjust accordingly. Accuracy works both ways.